Hi, I'm Richard Coles, and I want to welcome you back to the Walk-In Transformation podcast brought to you by RHCG Motivation. Again, we're going to be discussing insights, principles, and strategies that you can use in your life on a day-to-day basis to design your life, even transform your life into exactly the life you want to live. Now, we all know that there are literally thousands upon thousands of books, seminars, and videos that tell us what to do and how to get to where we want to be. But none of this information is new. This is the exact same information that has been around for ages and will continue to be around for ages to come. Now, we can spin this information in as many different ways as we want to, but the fact remains that the root or foundation of this information is exactly the same and will be the same forevermore. Now, what is different is the way that you apply it in your life. You see, if you only apply a little bit of this information to your life, well, you're only going to get a little bit of the results that you're looking for. Now, if you apply as much of this information to your life as you can on a consistent basis, catch that, on a consistent basis, you will be nothing short of astounded at the changes that you will experience as a result of this information. Now, none of this information has ever been a secret. It's not something that has been hiding under miles of earth or in the deepest recesses of the most brilliant psychological or spiritual minds. Yet, people have made millions upon millions of dollars by packaging this information as a secret that has finally been uncovered or discovered. That's just not the case. But before I go further, I want to take a moment to thank all of the essential workers, the doctors, nurses, first responders, grocery store and restaurant workers, drivers, teachers, pastors, and countless volunteers, as well as everyone else that has been keeping this economy buzzing along through this difficult time. Now, please hear me. This is not our new normal. I'll say this again. This is not our new normal. But this is leading to what will be our improved normal. We are in a place that I call a time of adaptation. We have had to adapt to a life right now in ways that we never would have imagined. But we have, because that's what we do. So just remember that we still need to continue to do a few simple things right now for a short time that will allow us to get back to, just regularly hanging out with our friends, getting together in the park for a game of football or frisbee or even a nice barbecue. Look, don't forget to wash your hands several times a day for at least 20 seconds. Make sure you're socially distancing from people because, even though everything is opening back up slowly but surely, we, as our friends and loved ones are still at risk. Just remember, when you are wearing that face mask, it is not for your protection, but it is for the protection of the ones that you love, just like those other people are wearing masks are doing so to protect you. That being said, it's time to start changing your thinking so you can start changing your action habits in order to start changing your life. Now, you cannot get to where you want to go unless you start right from where you are. Not from where you want to be, not from where your friends are, not from where you tell everybody that you are, and not from where you wish you were, but right here, right where you are. So this episode here is a continuation of the previous episode about having a vision for your life, the first step of your walk-in transformation. Now, have you ever wondered why it is that the rear view mirror in your car gives you such a small view of what's behind you, while the front windshield gives you a super duper broad panoramic view of what's in front of you? Well, it's easy. That's because what's behind you is already gone. You've already been there, and you cannot change it. Now, you may be able to revisit it, but it's still going to be the same. Now, what's in front of you, however, is open to endless possibilities. It is the big picture, and you decide just how that big picture is going to turn out. Now, you have to be able to see what's in front of you in order to get to where you're going. In other words, you have to be able to visualize with your physical eyes or your imagination the destination you have in mind. What about your life? It really doesn't matter if it's a physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, or financial destination you're looking to arrive at. The same holds true. You gotta have a destination or a place you want to get to. You see, if you can see where you're going, you will have a much, much greater probability of getting to where you're going. If you don't see where you're going, well, there's no telling where you're going to end up. If you took the time to talk to just 100 people about their lives and how they got to where they are right now, most of them will tell you that they just don't know. This is just how things turned out for me. But that select few that had a vision for the way that they wanted their lives to turn out, for the way they wanted to live and experience their lives, will tell you without hesitation, man, I had to plan this. I had to set up systems for myself in order to get to where I want to be, in order to get to this place. I needed a roadmap to make it plain. You see, we tend to complicate things so much because we let things get in our way, like ego, emotions, fear of loss, or feeling like something is being taken away from us, like our respect or even our choices. The truth is, and the sobering truth is, nothing can be taken away from you. It's actually the act of surrendering these things that makes us feel so bad, so used and abused. I mean, just ask the housewife who, after working a long, hard day in the house, keeping it clean and making sure that the kids are taken care of, ask her how she feels when her husband comes home and he's just upset because dinner isn't ready or because the kids don't have on clean clothes. Now, she's been there all day working. The kids have been playing in the yard. She's been vacuuming floors, washing clothes, cleaning dishes. She's been getting dinner ready. Now, she feels really bad because she's feeling like she's taken for granted because her husband no longer acknowledges to her how hard she's working to make this home a place of refuge for him when he comes home. Now, at the same time, the husband, feels like she doesn't really care that much anymore because if she did, everything would be ready when he got home after work. Everything would be ready after he got home after putting in a hard day to earn the money to keep the family going. Now, they love each other very much. This is true. But both have what's important to them on their minds. Now, if they could just shift their thinking a bit to what's important to the other person, there would be such a different environment in the home that they live in. It will be the environment that they've been working hard to develop. It would be the vision of the home they had to imagine. Simple. So, this vision that they had would be manifested. It would be manifested if only they kept their eyes, their minds on that vision that they have. Now, the vision that both of them shared would effectively guide them in the way that they behaved toward each other because they would know that everything that they are doing is working toward their vision for their life being manifested. But sometimes even the most determined people go off course. Fortunately, we can all get back on course. Now, this is just one example of how we've basically gotten so far away from the simple bedrock principles that are the foundation of success in absolutely everything we do. We live in a different time today where most households are such that both parents are working because of the high cost of living, and things are just getting more and more expensive every day. So it's tougher. Yeah, it's a much bigger challenge. Yeah, but it's something that can and does get done by a lot of people. So let's get back to your vision. Have you taken the time to really write out what the vision for your life is? Have you really taken the time to really think about how you would love to live, how you want your life to be? Now, I'm telling you, it does not matter if you want to be a rich and powerful businessman, a housewife successfully raising children to be productive members of society, or even a fireman respected in the community that you serve. Without a clear vision to guide you along your way, you will be lucky just to make progress toward the life you want to live. So how does this vision thing work? After you've taken the time to, and I mean seriously taken some time to think about and write out what your vision is, then comes the part where you start actually visualizing yourself living that life, doing that thing, hugging your children for something that they've accomplished, or even just sitting in your boardroom experiencing the happiness of having just met your monthly goal. You see, to have your vision written out is only 1/3 of the equation required to get there. After you've written your vision down and you have started to visualize yourself living that actual vision, then you need to start the action steps that you have been led to plan to get to that vision. It's a good idea if you start from the vision realized and work your way backwards to where you are right now. Let me say that again. It's a good idea if you start from the vision realized, or in other words, start from the way you see your life being and work your way backwards to where you are right now. So what you want to do is write as if you are already living your vision and start working backwards to note the steps that you have had to take in order to realize your vision. In other words, build it backwards. I want to say to you, please do not just don't become discouraged if you cannot see yourself in your imagination right away living that vision, because it takes time. But if you hold fast and are persistent, you will start to see yourself in your imagination as living that very vision that you have written down. Now, you might want to try something small first, like possibly seeing yourself as a healthy person by walking around the block as you daily exercise. You might try even seeing yourself eating healthier. Anything that you can think of that is small but significant to you would be a great place to start. My favorite book also says, despise not humble beginnings. Take the time to give yourself encouragement along the way, because you must be your absolute best cheerleader. Now, if you're not used to that, well, then you know what your first small exercise is going to be. Start working on seeing yourself as being the one who cheers you on in the things that you do daily. Remember that your vision is really your dream being worked on. For the difference in a vision and something you're dreaming about is that a vision is a dream being worked on. A dream is just that, a dream without faith and action behind it. Once again, this is Richard Coles of RHCG Motivation, and it has truly been a pleasure to just give you a couple of short nuggets that might help you out throughout your day or even your week. Now, this podcast is a plain and simple podcast reminding you of the very powerful insights, principles, and strategies that are there for you to use every day that will transform your life into the life that you have always wanted to live. As usual, I speak health, wealth, prosperity, and purpose into your lives right here, right now. And love one another, because what the world needs now is a little more love.